The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast, where we highlight top professionals who are making waves in the industry. Now, today, I am joined by Jeff Gonzales and Amberly, the powerhouse duo behind Icon Home Group. Now, Amberly has been in real estate since 2002, but I'm here with Jeff. Now, 14 years of experience in marketing, negotiations. In 2020, they combined forces to lead a team of 75 agents, earning Icon agent status with eXp Realty in 2023. So let's dive into Jeff's journey and his insights. So welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So let's go to your backstory a little bit. Now, what first inspired you to follow in your family's footsteps and pursue a career in real estate?
I ended up having my first kid in '08. I was always a hard worker, playing sports, growing up, waiting tables, tried the college thing, but it wasn't for me. Painting, always working a couple jobs. And then in '08, I had my first son and figured I should try real estate because my dad had wanted me to get into it since I graduated high school. But I didn't follow those footsteps right away because growing up in the business, I knew what it took to be successful. Especially starting, getting off the ground. It's 10, 12, 14-hour days, no weekends off. That's for sure. Open houses, networking, and you struggle for a little bit. So that's why I waited. I wanted to make sure that I was prepared mentally before I, got going. And I also when I got into it, I just went full speed, full time right away and had a little nest egg, and that was it. Burn the ships. And because that's what my dad had taught me.
Right.
It's really hard to do it part time. I think, or it's a slower process to get started and get known going part time. I just might as well double that time or triple it by working overtime. Yes.
Go all in. And so what do you think then? I mean, you've had so much success, and I know you are a part of a dynamic duo, but what do you think sort of separates you from the marketplace?
Well, I'd say just my mentor. Mentors are huge. So learning from my dad as a one-on-one mentor for years, and then we actually partnered for a while, on deals. So I got to see, luckily, hundreds, if not thousands of deals a year come through the table. Not all of them, but the ones that were sticky or a little messy, getting creative, learning from my dad from the 80s and 90s, creative financing, different things. So that my knowledge, I felt I learned probably 10 years worth of knowledge and maybe one or two, and kind of already having a background in it, following my dad, helping him with open houses and things. So that was really beneficial for my, growing my career. And then I'd say just the realness, my social media, there's nothing crazy with it. It's not too professional. It's very, family driven, myself. And I think that really helps with your sphere. And people want to work with me because I'm not faking the funk, as we would say out here in the US.
Love that. Love that. Well, I mean, and that's what I think people get to, that's what holds them back, is that they think everything has got to be completely, professionally produced. But actually, the real people want to see the real people. It's all about resonating with, So that's the way. Yeah. So what was the biggest challenge that you faced when merging your business with Amberly, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so she's a second generation realtor as well. She actually started as a TC, I believe, when she was 17. So I'm not going to tell her age, but she's been in a while. 20 probably 23, 22 years working, licensed for 20. So the biggest challenge is our style of working. So she's from the city of Orange, which is Orange County, right in the middle, next to Anaheim. A lot of sharks in the area. I would say, as far as business, because there's a ton of competition, and not in a bad way, but to stick out. There's certain things, and people do business a little bit different. Where I'm from on the Central Coast is about 3 hours north of this office, and we rent an office up there. And it's a little more country. The people that have a lot of money, you would have no idea. They got one button off and cowboy boots and ripped jeans. It's just a different lifestyle up there. And the way people do business, it's a little more old school, belly to belly, handshake. Of course, we get everything in writing, but that's more of a personal relationship that people work with. It's a pretty large area geographically, and now it's been growing a lot. But still, what I've learned is in the bigger cities, you could do business, whether it's intentional or not, do business the wrong way, really hurt some people. Like I said, whether it's intentional or not, and that won't follow you as well, because you can just move to the next city. You can just move right over. Next thing you know, you're marketing somewhere else. Where we're at, kind of everybody knows each other through somebody, cousin. And so that was the biggest challenge when we teamed up. We were trying to do the deals together, right? I didn't like it because, then we both have to sign, and what's the point of that? And then you're stepping in. And I learned this from my dad when I started working with my dad, as far as a partner, not just a mentee. There are a couple, different ways of thinking on deals and communication with emails and stuff. And he's super old school. So I'm in that middle range, but man, I had to, force him to get a BlackBerry when they came out, but so it's just different styles. And that's the beauty of real estate. You can do it any way you want. I learned from different agents, a lot of older agents. I was the youngest guy in my office in 08, 09 for probably 5 years, because that was during the crash. And so my dad told me, get in now. You can do it now. You can do it in any market. Everyone hated realtors and lenders back then. So I was the youngest guy, but I learned from a lot of old school agents and kind of their styles, and then you just kind of pick and choose. But back to the question, that was the hardest part. So we were kind of together for about a year trying to figure it out, and our real estate coach, and we just didn't work the same. So now we've kind of separated our businesses. I do all the listings on the Central Coast, pretty much Santa Barbara to San Luis Obispo. I have a buyer agent team, traditional there, that helps. I do have a listing specialist that can help me when I'm not around. And then I help her on the back end with her buyers down here, sometimes with negotiations. And then she helps me up there with a lot of the marketing, because she had to be so competitive being in Orange County. So that's how we've kind of combined our businesses and taken a little notes from each other and kind of blended it.
Yeah. But still
separated.
Brilliant. Well, you're bringing different skills which are needed with different markets, because they're very different markets. So now,
correct.
For you've reached, icon agent status. That's a huge accomplishment. What mindset or strategies have helped you achieve that milestone?
Yeah. So, we just hit it again, I think for the third year in a row. So that bio, we probably have to update. So we joined EXP in 21. That was my first year back into real estate. I took a 2 years off. It let me see the business from a bird's eye view, I should say, versus just working for my family company as an independent. Kind of let me look at other companies and kind of where the market was going and the business actually and technology. That's why I ended up choosing EXP. So that helped kind of taking the break and seeing what I really wanted to do in the business. What we really did, so when I started, I did start paying for some leads again, just like I was starting all over in 21. But in 22, when we hit Icon 3 and 4, what we did is we turned off all those leads, and we went back to the old school sphere of influence. We have a pretty large database, letters and just all kinds of different marketing that's more real, I feel, and I call my friends and clients all the time and text them, and it's nothing to do about real estate. And I tend to get business that way by random posts, even, commercial properties, portfolios, with a post with my kids, you know. So I do post a lot and a lot of stories. And yeah, and that not has nothing to do with real estate. Like, oh, Jeff, I totally forgot. You're the guy. We got this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what do you got? Oh shoot, that. Oh, you're helping liquidate a whole portfolio, 5, 6 properties. Okay, I can help with that. Definitely. You know, and it wasn't salesy, right? I'm not trying to sell anybody on anything. I'm just here to be helpful and within, and that's mentoring agents as well. So
But that's just sort of proving the fact that realtors, they need to stay visible, because then it's not just about posting open house, just listed, just sold, because every realtor's doing that. It's just about showing up as you and putting yourself out there and staying forefront of the potential client's mind. So for anybody coming into the industry, I mean, you've got what, 75 agents? Is that right? I mean,
roughly in our organization, yeah.
Right. I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing too. So what advice would you give to anybody coming into the industry with the market as it is right now?
Yeah, well, it's twice as hard right now. I mean, even our listing production is down a little bit. We had some family, stuff going on over the summer. However, number of sales, so you got to work twice as hard. When you're starting, you got to work 3 times as hard. So for me, I was like, again, old school, belly to belly. I still think open houses are awesome. Getting in front of people, practicing. The difference that when I started, Facebook and all that stuff in '08 was just coming out. The difference when my dad started was there was no internet. If he had an out of town client, he had to go drive around the homes and look for sale signs with a flyer, package it, put it in an envelope and snail mail it to his clients. He had to go to the MLS meetings, I think once a week, and get the binder with all the new listings and changes and So the new agent or the agent coming in this area has a huge time-saving crunch as far as getting in front of people. I still believe the old school things work: door knocking, creating a farm, flyers, but the social media is just huge, So acting, if you don't have listings, going and touring listings, going to the meetings, I think going to events and trainings, I think that shows your sphere, whether they're seeing it online or you're talking to them about a meeting you're going to, that you're into the business, that you're here to stay, you're going to evolve with it, you're going to continue to learn. You're out at your board meeting, you're looking at open houses on the weekends if you don't have one, creating some content that way. And that's the old school way too, man. You go broker caravan, you can go see what's open that maybe might be hard to get into and show. Maybe it's tenant occupied or something, or you don't maybe not have a client. There's an opportunity. Now you kind of know what your inventory is, what your product you're selling, and then something might come up with a client or a lead that you hear at a restaurant and you go, I know the perfect house for you. You actually see it. So it does a little of everything. You just you have to be all in. I think. I don't think you can half, go in. Now, if you need a side job or wait tables sometimes, or teachers make good agents as well. They're working in the mornings, but you got to be prepared that the evenings and weekends you need to be on it. I mean, I remember I just used to search. I still do search the MLS every day. Check the hot sheet. One of a good friend of mine mentored in my first office. She is so funny. She's probably in her mid 70s now, but man, she is on it. She texts me every single time I get a listing. It goes pending or closes. Hey, congrats, Jeff, on that listing. And she's probably part-time now, and she did give me a really good tip. It's the best tip I ever had. She said, Peggy, what's your, how do you get so much business? What do you do? So when I run into people, I ask them, hey, do you need to buy or sell a house today? It's a joke, of course, right? But that makes me think you don't have to be salesy, but you have to remember what you're in business for. And if you're wearing some kind of gear, I think that helps spark interest. And you slowly learn to kind of, I won't say eavesdrop, but you're kind of learning, and especially when you're starting, you want to talk about real estate. People are going to talk about it. You just got to know when they're talking about it or kind of trying to ask, because everybody talks about the market all the time, no matter what, especially now.
Absolutely. And people are busy and they forget. And so it's important to remind people that you're still in the business, right? So great tips there. Thank you for that. And so for you guys, totally different areas, so totally different markets. So how was last year? How many transactions did you do in each complete different market?
Ooh, I have to actually. I did run the numbers. We're a little late on them, but I know last year was a little bit down. My dad was in the hospital for 4 months, and we took some time off. That was, and you feel that 3-6 months down the road, right? So we're kind of feeling it. It's kind of over now, that momentum that's had to kind of stop. But we did, I believe, 36 last year, 36 sides. I would say probably 24-ish were on the Central Coast, 12 in Orange County, LA. It's a bigger region here. And when my wife and I first started dating, it was pretty funny because of their price points. I'd have to do two, sometimes double end one, and then find them something for her one. It's not that far off, but
there's still pretty good. Still pretty good. So
the year before, though,
for you two?
Excuse me?
What's next for you two then? What are your goals for this year coming?
I think for us around 30 is really actually kind of nice. Once you start getting more than that, 35, maybe 40. I mean, we don't want to sell 100 homes personally, maybe with our team a little bit and continue to grow our traditional team, because we still want a life, and we've seen the people that have sold 100, 120. I've partnered with one of the brokers that did that during the REOs, 117 by himself one year. I mean, there's no.
They don't sleep.
No, I think you got to redo it. So continue to grow our traditional team, but also our organization, and help the brokers that we're with and other agents that are now starting to splinter off and get their own offices, and continue to help them grow in whatever they need. I think our approach with it is to partner with more seasoned agents, people that kind of see the vision of EXP, and I think that's why our story is a little different. My wife owned her own brokerage. I had a family brokerage. Why in the heck would they choose this company? Now there's some, obviously, as some copycats. Why haven't they left? So I think we like to lead by example, and that's why we're going to stay in production for the meantime. But of course, eventually, have an exit. We do have an exit strategy, but I'm still pretty young, I think, even though I don't look it, but.
Oh, come on. Well, that's the beauty of EXP. You do have that option to scale and have that passive income. So look, finally, because here at Icons, look, we're not just a podcast. We are the #1 real estate podcast network globally. And we're just really passionate about making podcasting accessible to everybody involved in the business of real estate, because as you say, it's a great way to stay forefront of people's minds that want to do business with you, whether you're wanting to increase production or attract agents, right? It works both ways. So, Jeff, if you and your wife had your own podcast, what do you think you'd call it?
Well, my favorite podcast is this one, so I'd have to make time to not listen to it as much. Actually, in the gym, I do like to listen to it in the gym. We're a blended family. We each have 2 boys. They're 20, 17, 16, and 13. So we have no food in the fridge. We're kind of a Brady bunch. We like to travel a lot. We run all over the place. We take listings all over the state. So I would need your help on that. Maybe.
We'll have to come up. We'll have to come up with something unique for that, for your for your unique family. Awesome. Well, finally, look, if any ears have pricked up from other agents looking to, maybe come over to this side, or anybody looking to buy or sell in both different areas, where do they find you guys? How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I like Instagram, Jeff G, lowercase real estate. And then my name's Jeff Gonzales. It's on Facebook. And then our website's iconhomegroup.com. That's the name of our traditional team, is Icon Home Group. And then where else? Email jeffgexp, jeffgexp@gmail.com. And that's, and my cell phone. I can put it in there too.
Yeah, go on. Tell them your cell phone.
My cell phone from the 80 Feezy, they call it in California, 805-478-3808. 805-478-3808. That's a NorCal, actually. They call it 80 Feezy. I'm in the middle, central, and so
you're in between. You're in between. We'll have all of Jeff's and his wife's details in the show notes, so resort back to them. Look, Jeff, it's been fun to speaking with you today. So thank you for your time. And to the listeners, I'll be back next time with the Icons of Real Estate. Goodbye for now.